What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to JJD TV. I'm your host, Josh, and we are here with a fantastic little transfers episode for you guys today, courtesy of BVB Network. We'll let some of you guys roll in before we get into the nitty-gritty of it, but there's a lot to talk about today. I'm excited for it. You guys can probably tell by some of the thumbnails and the names that we used in the naming of this video. You have some kind of idea who we'll be talking about today, but if you guys want an itinerary of how to really follow along, go over to Instagram, follow BVB Network, and then take a look at their latest posts. They highlight all of our talking points today. So they were nice enough to let me kind of use that as a guideline because they had an amazing post, and I just thought it would be a perfect way to talk about it. So hope you guys are doing here today. And if you want the nice schedule, you're going to have to go over to Instagram and pull up the first post from BVB Network, and you'll see all kinds of points there, and that's where we're gonna start. We'll get into a few of the comments before we really dive into that whole fun stuff there. But hopefully you guys are doing well today, and let's see what we're doing. Probably Sancho, Schultz, Berkey. There's a potential, my friend. There is a potential. But the first point that we're going to talk about today, and like I said, you guys want to head over to BVB Network, look at their first post. That is our itinerary. The first point that he talked about was Marco Rose wants to give chances for all players and then make a decision after some friendly matches. So speaking of those players, Brandt falls into one of them, and that's who you guys have talked about right away. What about Julian Brandt? It looks like Marco Rose is going to give him a shot. He's going to give him a shot to see if he can integrate into this squad, if he's going to be someone, obviously, to look at down the line. I'm very curious to see how they're going to integrate him in, whether they're going to play a 4-2-3-1, a 4-1-2-1-2. I'm honestly not 100% sure, but it does look like there's a couple options for him. One of them could be a cam and a 4-2-3-1, or he could play even as an 8 and a 4-1-2-1-2. But I don't know. A lot of people were surprised because a lot of people are under the assumption that Brandt's time was here is kind of gone, and I was kind of under that impression as well that Brandt is just potentially gonna move on. But it does look like he's gonna be given a shot, and we'll see what he does there. In one of the nice points that BVB Network let us know is the fact that the only players that are allowed to leave this summer is Nico Schultz, Jadon Sancho, and Roman Berkey, which I thought was interesting that Schultz did fall in that category. We know who's being linked to Jadon Sancho. We know that it's Manchester United. We know that Berkey's probably going to head over to potentially Ligue 1. I'm not 100% sure where he will be going in that direction. And of course, Nico Schultz is one that we have to take a look at as well. He stays. It looks like Brandt has the potential to stay. It looks like Marco Rose is going to give every player except for potentially Sancho. Not that he won't give Sancho a chance, but Sancho looks like he's allowed to leave, as well as Berkey and Schultz. Everyone else is given a fair shot. Renier's in that equation as well. It looks like he's going to be staying on for another season, which I thought, again, was a little bit surprising. But it does look like Brandt's going to have some time to prove himself to see if he's going to be able to be a fit in this squad moving forward or not. What do you think about Guendouzi? I mean, it's not where I would spend the money, if I'm being completely honest. Guendouzi's he's a solid CDM. He can play box to box. He had a decent spell at Hertha, but I don't think it's an area that I would overly look at right away. But the rumors are there. The rumors are there for Guendouzi. It does look like the talks are potentially happening. He'd obviously be a cheaper alternative to Locatelli, who we'll be touching on a little bit. But I don't know. I personally don't see it happening, but we will have to wait and see. It says that another point from BVB Network, guys, if you want to head over to their Instagram and look at our itinerary for the day. The next points are Thorgan Hazard, Julian Brandt are and still in Marco Rose's plans for next season. Hazard's having a good Euros. That's no surprise for any of you guys there. Eric says, St. Juice to us, your opinion would be, in my opinion, would be a perfect Dortmund type of signing. And when I say that, I mean we're not going to go out there and spend 30 mil more than likely on Lacroix, for example. St. Juice fits the profile player that we need. He's versatile. He's talented. He's relatively cheap. I'm rumored around 15 mil, so it would be a good little steal, and I'd like to see that we would address him. I've been talking to you guys for a while now and saying that I personally only see us going after 3 signings this entire summer. I've been saying it for a long time. My 3 signings are very clear. It's Malen, who things are progressing, probably St. Juice, and then we did sign Kobel. Bro, you can't imagine how much I needed this. I'm like in the most boring class in history. Well, I'm glad to be here and help you out, my man. Any way I can. Hopefully, I don't know. Let me know what you think of some of the transfers that are going around. The other big name out there is Locatelli. You guys are probably pretty familiar with it. I don't see it happening. You guys probably know that. Why do we target CDMs? We need wingers. Well said. And the other CDM besides Guendouzi that we've been linked to is Locatelli. Now I can tell you, fairly confident that we will not sign Locatelli. He is way too expensive. He's going to cost about 40 mil. There's nothing against Locatelli. I saw a lot of hype over him over on Twitter. Obviously, he's had a successful little spell now with the Italians. But unfortunately, it just doesn't seem like he's going to make that jump to us. I don't see us strengthening in that type of way. I think he's just going to cost way too much money. And I honestly don't even think we would go for someone like Guendouzi. Guendouzi's someone who obviously would be on the cheaper side of things, but still a very it's an area we just don't really need strengthening right now. We have a lot of talent in those positions, and I don't know. I just don't see a way that we target either one of them. And he agrees. Your favorite BVB player? My favorite BVB player is Marco Reus. Got a nice framed jersey in the background. I ended up switching up the studio a little bit so we don't really see it as much, but my favorite player has always been Marco Reus. Brandt should stay, I'm assuming is what you were alluding to. And I don't know. I'm honestly not sold on Brandt. I've been pretty open about that. I just don't think that he's at his best here. I feel like he needs to move on. It is nice that at least he'll get given a shot under Marco Rosa, but I just have a feeling that he's not going to be able to break in the squad. But the nice thing about having a new manager is a new system, new tactics, and if you're going to find a way to break in your current squad, having a change of manager is always a good look. Brandt should stay. I like what he does. Also, Rosa should try to play Brandt as a CM because Royce is our cam. It's a good point. There's a couple different ways you could look at it. If we did go with the 4-1-2-1-2, Brandt could play as an 8, could have Dahoud and Bellingham in there, and then Royce would be your cam. You could also play a 4-2-3-1, and then that would just shift Royce out to the wings, which I don't think is the best look for him. But it's challenging. I just personally don't see a way that we can get him in. If we played a 4-2-3-1, I would rather have a defensive midfielder like Witsel or Chan on, our 2 center mids, Bellingham and Dahoud, and then Royce as your cam, and then you have Gio there as well. If you play a 4-2-3-1, Gio or Royce would be my preferred center attacking mids. It's an iffy one for me. I'm not sold on it. I think that we have too many center attacking mids. It's just as straight up as it is. But we'll have to see what happens there. Bro, is BVB for real looking at Locatelli? So this rumor has been around for a while. It's not the first time we've been linked with Locatelli. Unfortunately for us, there's no way we're going to sign him. If you're going off of my opinion, Locatelli is going to cost upwards of 40 mil. Dortmund will not drop that type of money. Even if they were to drop 40 mil, it would not be on a defensive midfielder where we have plenty. We have Chan, we have Witsel, we have Bellingham, we have Dahoud, and we have Delaney. There's absolutely no way. But it looks like he may go to Juve. I haven't heard any rumors about it. I feel like if we're signing any PSV players, it's going to be Malen. I know that a lot of you guys are pretty hyped about him, but for me, it's got to be Malen. What about Marco Rosa? Marco Rosa is coming in. We'll head back to our itinerary from BVB Network, where he says that the 1st of July will be the first day Marco Rosa is the official BVB manager. So it's coming up very soon. It also says that Edin Terzic is staying as an assistant for Marco Rosa in the upcoming future. And there's some interesting tactics that I'm curious to get your guys' opinions on. It says the 4-2-3-1, the 4-3-3, and the 4-4-2, which in my assumption the 4-4-2 is the 4-1-2-1-2, are the favorite formations for the new BVB coach. And it's honestly it's a few formations that we have been able to play. I'm gonna be curious to see what happens with our club and seeing the kind of I guess the way that we go around it and who we're gonna integrate into this squad. Brandt must stay. He is so good. He is. He's got a lot to prove, man. He's got a lot to prove. Do you ever see us re-signing Isaac? Oh, that's a good question, man. His relationship between the club, too broken. If you're gonna put it on me, I'd say absolutely not. Nothing against Isaac. I think he's a fantastic striker. I think he's doing some good things for Real Sociedad in La Liga. He's obviously having a very successful little run here in the Euros, catching some eyes. But all in all, at the end of the day, I don't think that it's going to happen. I feel like if we were going to replace Haaland down the line, Malen will be that natural replacement. And Malen more than likely will play as a winger this upcoming season and then make his way over to the striker position. I just don't see a way that he comes back. That's just my opinion, but you never know. If we sell Sancho, how should we move on? If we sell Sancho, like I said, we'll more than likely sign Daniel Malen, who will be a winger slash kind of striker, depending what system Marco Rosa comes from. I do think Marco Rosa is very keen on Malen because of his versatility. As you guys just saw, the formations he likes to play, there is a two striker formation up there, as well as a winger position, which Daniel Malen can play, but it does seem like he's a perfect option, and I'd be very excited to see if he did end up coming to our club, but only time will tell. Who is your future captain? Future captain of this squad going forward after Marco Reus? Depends. I got to think of someone who's going to be here long term, who's a leader on the pitch. I like Dahoud. You guys know that. I also do like Akanji. Akanji's worn the armband on several occasions for us. So, I mean, if I had to be completely honest, probably after Hummels and Royce leave, it'd be Akanji. Would you rather sign 30 mil Lacroix or 40 mil Locatelli? I'd rather sign 30 mil Lacroix. Both of them are just so unrealistic. It's probably not going to happen. But I'd rather strengthen the center backs while we can, just because I'm not sold on Zagadou being able to do it throughout the course of the season. We have Hummels, we have Akanji, and Lacroix would just be the future. But it's hard. I like Locatelli a lot as well, but we do have a lot of defensive midfielders. So if you shifted out a couple of them, you can maybe look at him. Can we win the Bundesliga? The most interesting thing for me, I don't know. Drop a like, guys. Drop a like on the stream before I give you guys my answer. Welcome to the morning transfer edition. This one is courtesy of BVB Network, so big shout out to them. Our itinerary is on their Instagram, but I'm going to take a nice sip of coffee and then I will answer your question, my friend. Don't mind the JJD TV mug. I like it. Can we win the Bundesliga? I think that it's going to be a more open season than not. When 7 of the top 8 clubs in Bundesliga all have a manager shakeup, including Bayern, there's always a chance that Nagelsmann can come in and hit the ground running. Saying that, there's always a chance that Marco Rosa can come in and not hit the ground running. It's going to be very iffy, but I don't know, man. I have some high expectations, and here's another reason why. Will we get a new right back, or do you expect Meunier to step up for that? I've been saying on the channel for a long time, for you guys who've listened to me for a while, I said there's no chance that we're going to go out and sign a right back. Like I said earlier in this stream and several times before, I only see us signing 3 players throughout the course. And without specific names, back when I started saying this, I said a keeper, a center back, and a winger is exactly who we're going to sign, because I don't believe that Haaland whatsoever will leave this summer. I do think Sancho will leave, and those will be kind of the replacements that we look at. Now, when I said that, a lot of people were bummed out that I said that we weren't going to sign a right back. The reason I said that is because we have Meunier. Dortmund, there's always a chance he can have a bounce back season. There's always that chance. So he's a body there. You have Murray, who's going to come back after his long-term injury, who he's supposed to potentially be the future of a right back position. And we also re-signed Paslak. So we absolutely don't need to add another right back, especially with probably cost a good chunk of money to get him. But the interesting thing is that Meunier is finding a little bit of confidence for Belgium right now. And I think every Dortmund fan out there is going to be very excited about that. He showed that he can play as a wing back, which is a position we thought he would be very poor in. He's also been able to show that he can play when on occasions as a solid right back. So I think maybe if Belgium goes on a deep run and he keeps up these performances, why not welcome back a very informed Thomas Meunier instead of going out there and dropping money we don't have on a position we don't need. For me, we should sell Schultz and send Renier back and bring Isaac Malen, young Polish midfielder I've been recently linked up with, goes into the backup for PSV. So, British Empire, how you doing, my man? So my thoughts on that is, yes, I do agree we should sell Schultz. I don't think Schultz has ever been able to fit into this squad. We have been notified that he is get allowed to leave if he wants to. Sancho, Berkey, and Schultz are the three players that are allowed to find other clubs. The issue with Schultz for me is that we already have the best wingback you could find. Guerrero's very attacking. Schultz was a wingback when he came in here. I think that we need to sell him and then go for a natural left back. And when I say that, it's because Guerrero isn't your conventional left back. I think we all know that. Anyone who watches Dortmund play, watches Guerrero, knows how talented this man is, knows what he can do up and down the pitch. It'd be very hard to replace him. And if there's a situation where we need more a defensive outlook, we need a natural left back. Schultz is not that. So I absolutely agree with you there. I would personally send Renier back on loan as well. From what I'm reading, what I'm being told, it looks like Renier is going to stay this final year on his loan. I think that's a mistake. I don't think he was going to touch the field. But again, he's probably looking at it. There's a new manager. There's a new chance. But I agree with you. I would send Renier back. I would not bring back Isaac. I think that I just don't think he's going to be willing to come back to the club. I don't think that he's going to get any minutes because Haaland's going to be here. And when Haaland isn't there, you have still Mukuku who needs game time as well as Malen who can play as your striker. So I wouldn't bring in Isaac. I 1000% would sign Malen to replace Sancho. He's the ideal candidate for me for the versatility of the wing and the usefulness in the 4-1-2-1-2 formation for Marco Rosa. And then I wouldn't, and again, Gozens for me is the exact same situation as Guerrero. He's not a natural left back. He's a wing back through and through. And then that PSV right back, Dumfries, I'd take him in a heartbeat as well. But unfortunately, I just don't think we're going to spend any money on that position. Malen and Mukuku, also Malen is almost done because it seems like he's considering all the rumors. I think so too. I think Malen's going to be coming to Dortmund sooner than later from what I've been reading. Like I said, there was a gentleman's agreement with Malen for a while now, and all those rumors just kind of cooled off for a good time. So for me, I'm pretty excited to see hopefully that he does make that jump at some point, because I'd welcome him with open arms. And it also noteworthy to know that they said that Malen will come here regardless what happens with Sancho. What about the new kid Koulibaly and the other kid? I'm assuming you're talking about Koulibaly with the C, our young center back that we got, and then Kamara. I don't have any updates on Kamara. Koulibaly, I believe, is going to be playing with our U23s. We'll probably have an opportunity at some point, but again, it's just, I don't know. We have a little bit more depth in that position, hopefully with some players getting back to form and a new signing. I don't think Koulibaly will get a ton of looks for us this season up in the main team. What are your thoughts on Velarde leaving? I was happy with it. He clearly said he didn't really want to be in Dortmund anymore, which is fine. I mean, he didn't get a lot of looks. He didn't get a lot of time. He said he really enjoys living in Marseille, playing for Marseille. He's got his new Argentine manager as well. He's thriving there. I don't hold anything against him, and I'm happy that we were able to recoup a good chunk of money for him. Brandt's passing accuracy was horrible last season, even the easy passes. Yeah, I mean, guys, I'm someone who wants to see Brandt leave. And nothing against him. I just think it's his time to take a look, to move on. But it does look like he's going to be given a shot under Marco Rosa. And I think Marco Rosa will have an idea to see if Brandt can gain back any of that confidence. Because he can be used. But it's hard because I personally think Marco Rosa is going to play the 4-2-3-1. You cannot start Brandt really at cam and then push, I guess, Royce out to the wings, where I don't think that's where Marco Royce is going to be at his best. Marco Royce is in the later ends of his prime career right now. He wants to play where he's comfortable. He's most influential as a center attacking mid, with probably Malen and then Hazard, who hopefully find his form after the Euros again on the wings. Gio's still going there. It just makes it very hard for me to think that Brandt's coming in. And then if you're playing in the 4-1-2-1-2, you need Bellingham and Dahoud in your center mids, not Brandt. So I just don't find a way. I don't see a way that he stays, to be honest. Or if he does, he will be on the bench again. If Haaland goes next year, Vlahovic is a perfect replacement. I agree with you, my man. I'm a big fan of Vlahovic. He's done some fantastic things at Fiorentina. He's going to cost a lot of money. Now, I think it is a good. I'm hoping that Vlahovic stays at Fiorentina for one more season, so then we can revisit it once we sell Haaland and get a ton of money. But yeah, I would have no problem with him. I've seen a lot of good things. He's a little bit similar to Haaland. That dangerous left foot, big man, good in the air, good speed, good finisher. I like it. It's a conversation for a year from now, though. Can Marco Royce stay at world-class form and perform like last season? I have a feeling he can, and I think the big the big influence on him potentially doing that is the fact that he gave up a spot at the Euros. He knows what his body is capable of, and he knows where he is at his career. He wants to prolong his club career. He gave up the chance to represent his country, and I'm hoping after coming off a bit of rest and also a great final end of the season, Marco Reus will take that center attacking mid spot and fly with it. What's your opinion on Zagadou? He's got a lot to do to be able to to win over my my appraisal of him, because I just think he's been injured too much. I think at times, even when he's not injured, he's made some errors. He's young. There is definitely a player in there, but he needs to find a way to get healthy. He needs to find a way to get consistent minutes. And I think with the mixture of inform Hummels and Akanji, as well as the injury prone, it's going to be hard for him to really break into this Dortmund team. So I'm very curious to see what happens with Zagadou and if he does have any impact on the season next year. The next season is going to be the most interesting in a long time. Trust me, I absolutely agree with you, my man. Like I said, guys, go look at all the coaching changes. It's exceptional to see them all. 7 of the top 8 clubs in the Bundesliga are going to have a new manager next year. That's a huge difference. There's going to be a lot of moves. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, man. And if Bayern can slip up and we hit the ground running with the new duo now of Terzic and Marco Rosa, it's going to be a lot of fun. How much does Malen cost? He's rumored about 30 mil. 30 million euros is what it's going to cost to buy Malen. And that's about as much as I can see Dortmund spending. So as soon as I saw the rumors of Locatelli for 40, I immediately thought this is just not going to happen. There's just no way for me it's going to happen, just because 40 mil on any player alone, no. 40 mil on a defensive midfielder, absolutely not. I agree Vlahovic is a future star. He is. He's going to be someone we should monitor for some time. But the other thing is that Malen can play as a striker too. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does going forward, and seeing if he potentially will, when Haaland leaves, if Malen will take that striker role on. It's like every single signing made in 2019 has turned into a flop, except for Hazard. Well, I mean, we re-signed Hummels. Hummels is obviously, I mean, he was a re-signing of him, but I mean, Hummels has been good. Schultz absolutely was a bust. Brandt was a bust, and Hazard's still a question mark. So those big signings in 2019, I agree. They haven't really been all over the place. But we're gonna dive back into BVB Network's post. So if you guys haven't checked it out yet, go to Instagram, pull it up. I'm going to go through the rest of his points right now. We've talked about his first one, which is Marco Rosa giving chances to Brandt, to Renier, some of those players. We're allowing Schultz, Sancho, and Berkey to leave. Hazard will be here. Another big one in this is that player contract extensions will have a place soon, and we're looking at Dahoud. Now, I'm fired right up. The fact that they've mentioned it, that there's leaks. I mean, there's always been the rumors that Dahoud will resign, but there's no way they can let him go. Dahoud 2025 is coming. It's a movement, and it's good to hear there. Erling Haaland will not leave this summer. If you guys want to put your opinions in the chat, we can get into Haaland. I've been saying that for a long time now. There's no way that they're going to let both stars leave. Unfortunately for our Sancho lovers out there, it does look like Sancho's the one to potentially move on. But Haaland will be here, hopefully banging in 30 goals next season. And it's also noteworthy to notice that Kobel was the first transfer of Marco Rosa. So Marco Rosa did have a say in Gregor Kobel, who will be obviously leading the sticks for Borussia Dortmund next year, which is obviously very interesting. And then, of course, the formations, but we can talk about a little bit later in the episode. We can talk about the 4-2-3-1, the 4-3-3, and the 4-1-2-1-2, and take a look at maybe some of the ones there. But the most noteworthy thing in there for me is Dahoud 2025, baby. I like it. Marcelo Flores and Daniel Jebsen are in the rosters for the Gold Cup. I'm so happy, man. We need them. Gold Cup rosters were released. I might have to do another live. That's interesting. Thank you, my man, for pointing that out. I'll have to go check that out. Daniel Jebsen, for another nice relation. He's English, playing for Sheffield United. He's also Canadian, and there was a soft link linking him to Borussia Dortmund. For those of you guys who are probably familiar with the young English player trend, Daniel Jebsen kind of falls into that. But Daniel Jebsen is also Canadian, which is very cool for me, and the fact that Dortmund was maybe looking at him. We'll see if he can shine at this year's Gold Cup, and if Dortmund end up kind of coming back, because get a Canadian on this Dortmund team, and you're going to find a happy Josh. I wish if BVB would have trusted Immobile and let him stay. Immobile was a disaster, though, man. That season in every strike of the way, I think it was best for Immobile just to move on. I get your point, because he's turned into an incredible striker. But that season was just a disaster. Immobile scored 3 goals. A player like Immobile, who broke the Serie A goal scoring record, scored 3 goals for Dortmund. He needed to move on. He found his feet in Serie A, and that's probably why he's not looking to leave Lazio anytime soon. Because obviously he could play at a better club, but I don't think he wants to mess up that groove when you score 36 goals in a season. It's a hard thing to do. Is Haaland going to leave this upcoming January or next summer? I can guarantee you Haaland will not leave in January. I'm 90% sure he's not going to leave this summer. And it's 50-50, and it depends on the release clause. And if it's legitimate, if it's even there. There's a lot of question marks about it. I'm hoping that there's a good chance that it won't happen, but we will have to see. We will have to see. Roman likes it. I there it is. Dahoud 2025, baby. It is beautiful. I like Terzic staying. I was on the fence. Not that I don't love Edin Terzic. I just wanted him to do his best for his career, and I thought maybe moving on, maybe taking a job like Eintracht Frankfurt would have been a good look for him. But I mean, I absolutely respect it. I love the fact that he's here. Hopefully he can keep learning and one day come back and manage us. What would be your surprise team in the Bundesliga next season, like Union Berlin last season? Who? A surprise. I'm assuming not one of the original, or I guess maybe the top 6 or 7 clubs. It's a good question. I'm going to have to take a look. I was just taking a look at the boys behind me. That's a good question. I don't know. I don't see anyone replicating what Union Berlin did. I can see a club like Gladbach, for example, having a much better year. I'll say Hertha. There's a lot of hype around Hertha. Never happened. Maybe it'll happen this year. Is Haaland going to leave next summer or in January? Definitely not. He will not be leaving in January. More than likely, he will be leaving in the summer. Probably next summer or the summer after that. We should sell Haaland for 150 million rather than 65 next year because he knows that he's going to leave. So here's the big thing, guys, that I think a lot of people don't know. The release clause is alleged. There is no real 100% information on the release clause. So we don't know, A, if there is a release clause or if there's not. And B, we don't know what the price is. I've heard rumors ranging from 75 mil to 100 mil. So, I mean, it's hard to make that assumption being like, yes, it's smarter to sell him now for 150 rather than a year's time for 75 when it's not been 100% confirmed that Haaland has a release clause and what the actual value is. So, British Empire, I do take your point. And if the release clause is there and it's 75, that obviously is a point for maybe looking to sell him. But I think with the shakeup in the Bundesliga this season, I could care less if it's 75 next year. I want him this year. I want him to stay. I want him to pump 30 goals in. I want to introduce a new manager with a new system, with maybe Malen, maybe St. Just, new keeper who hopefully can have a little bit of consistency. And if Bayern can slip up because Nagelsmann's playing a little bit too much like he's shown he does at Leipzig, this could be our year. It absolutely could. So the most important thing for me, as much as I love Sancho, keeping Haaland is more important. You can't just replace 30 goals like that. We've tried. Immobile is another good example. Doesn't always mean that you're going to be able to find that type of rhythm. Have you watched Schultz before he came to Dortmund? He was a left wing back in that year. Fabre was not to blame. He was a left wing back, and that was the point I was saying as to why we should look to move him on. We have 2 left wing backs, and we play with a 4-back system. There's no reason for that. Let Schultz go. Sell him to an Eintracht Frankfurt. Let him be a wing back there. Sell him back to Hoffenheim. Buy a natural left back, so when we have come up against games where maybe Guerrero isn't the best option, or deeper in the game we have a lead and we need to get more defensive awareness on the field, we have a natural left back, because putting Schultz on in replacement for Guerrero doesn't do anything. Who won the Ant Stadium giveaway? Haven't announced it yet. It's going to be happening, I believe, right after the group stage of the Euros. Sancho will leave. But yes, guys, if you want to enter that, there is a beautiful replica of the Westfalen that we partnered up with for a giveaway. Go over to my Twitter. It is there on the screen for you guys. It is TV_JJD and enter it. All you got to do is retweet and like it, and you have a chance to win a one-of-a-kind replica of the Westfalen Stadion. And I recommend you guys do it. We'll be doing the giveaway in about a week, I think. About a week. Sancho will leave, but it could be good money. It could be. Sancho will leave, in my opinion. We will hopefully be able to replace it properly, get Malen in, get a center back. And like I said, I don't see us having a right back. But guys, if you can keep an eye on the Belgian national team, hopefully Meunier can just find some confidence and come back and change the way that we are, man. Can you see Haaland at Bayern? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If we haven't learned from our mistakes in the past, man, then I don't know what to do. We cannot let an aging Lewandowski get replaced by Haaland, who could be there for the better part of 10 years. I don't see it. I don't see any way Dortmund let it happen. If they do, man, there's some big question marks. My assumption is that he will move to the Prem or La Liga. So, only time will tell. Let's win the Champions League and the Bundesliga, and Haaland will stay for another 10 years. That's the enthusiasm I like, my friend. That's the enthusiasm I like. But I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens. I mean, I think Haaland will be here next season, maybe even a season after, depending on the release clause. But next season is gonna be huge. Assuming Sancho leaves for 90 million, how would you spend the money? Who would you spend it on? And this is the point I need you guys to understand. Just because we sell Sancho for 90 million does not mean that we will be spending 90 million. It's not how Dortmund do business. It will never happen. You will never find a like-for-like replacement for Jadon Sancho. And like I said, more than likely we'll spend 30 mil on his replacement. That's just the way that Dortmund do business. I think that there will be 2 more signings this summer. I think that we will sign a center back. I'm leaning towards St. Juice, but I think we will sign a center back, and I think we will sign Mullen. And then I honestly think that's it, because we've already got our keeper. Now, maybe if we are able to flip Schultz, we could go for a left back. We've been linked to a young one, which makes the most sense to me. Go for a nice young left back. He's a natural left back. He can learn from Guerrero, learn from the team. But the big ones would be Mullen, St. Juice would be my number 1 picks, and then the potential to replace Schultz and Brandt is there, but only time will tell. Daka, another Bundesliga news for you guys. Daka was heavily linked to RB Leipzig. Seemed like it'd be a natural fit following Jesse Marsch, Salzburg to Leipzig connection. But it does look like he's heading to Leicester City. That's a big one, man. That's a big one. Patson Daka is a huge young talent. I'd have been a little bit scared, and I thought it would have been a perfect little signing for Leipzig. Another look for Leipzig is interested in Lacroix, a center back that we've tracked for a while. I think we got a little bit priced out because of Konate moving on and because of Upamecano moving on. I'm fairly certain that Lacroix will make the jump to Leipzig, which adds to their talent pool there, and it's going to be interesting to see the way that he can get on there next year. They need to sell now and take the money. Not for Haaland, they don't. Haaland needs to stay another year, 100%. If we are starting winning trophies and be competitive at Bayern, then I am 100% sure players won't leave and we can attract. There is a debate around that, guys, but it's not like players are leaving every year. We've been holding on to Sancho for a while. We're holding on to Haaland for probably another season or 2. In 2019 we went and we spent a lot of money on Schultz, Hummels, Hazard, Brandt. I think people are just so caught up on what happened with the Lewandowski and Götze situation. We are not, in my opinion, we're not a selling club. Can we keep talent for 4, 5, 6 years if they're talents like Haaland, Sancho? Probably not. It's not the way that this club is run. It's not the way that this club does business. And it's a part of life. But they are excellent at recruiting. And I think that they've showed that they're going to do everything that they can to keep these players. Part of the pitch to bring Haaland and Sancho in here, especially Sancho, is come grow here in the Bundesliga. Come grow your game. And when you're ready, we will sell you back to the Premier League where you want to be. And that's kind of a gentleman's agreement that had with Sancho. So Dortmund's as a club of their word. They want to let Sancho be able to go back where maybe he wants to go. As long as the right deal comes in and United aren't playing around, I see that deal going through. But I mean, we did win a trophy. We had a good season last year. We won the Pokal. We had a nice Champions League run. And that's why I do think Haaland will be here next year and he will be hungry. It is a nice little debate. Those are just my kind of couple thoughts on it. Haaland can push for his move, with all due respect. He won't, though. I don't think Haaland will push for a move this summer. I think he's under the impression that Sancho's leaving, new managers coming in, maybe some new talent. I don't see the way that Haaland moves on. Bro, can a club actually make a player sign a contract and sell him immediately so we make more money? Yes. Chelsea do it all the time. If you're referring to someone who, for example, is out on loan or had the buyback clause, Chelsea, Madrid, those type of clubs do it all the time. They do their buyback clause. So if you're referring to Isaac, for example, now I don't know, it all depends on certain contracts, and I don't think we're able to, but I know Chelsea in the past has used their buyback clause to buy a player back and then immediately sell him for a profit. But I do remember reading an article that I don't think allows us to do that with Isaac. People are sleeping on Thorgan Hazard. This is his opportunity to come back in. Him and Meunier, man. It's why I want Belgium to have a good run. If Germany doesn't do anything this Euros, I want Belgium to do it because I want Witsel coming back on good form. Big shout out to Axel Witsel. He's back. Absolutely incredible after that crazy injury he had. And then Meunier and Hazard. So I agree, my man. What are your thoughts on Terzic in his first few games when he was in charge? He was quite poor. It looked like he got thrown into a situation he wasn't overly sure of, but he learned on the job. He has an exceptional passion for this club, and Terzic deserves a round of applause doing what he was able to do towards the end of the season. Thorgan Hazard, when he plays, he scores and assists. I like it. I like it. Why Sancho downgrading himself for money? And like I said, it was an agreement between him and the club. If he wants to go back to the Prem, which it looks like Sancho might want to do, Dortmund aren't going to stand in his way. BVB's squad is too big and too young. I wouldn't say it's too big or too young. I think, especially not the young part, but I do agree certain positions have a little bit, like Brandt, for example. Is there someone I don't see is going to get in? Renier, someone I don't see is going to get in? I do agree with some of the points there. I mean, Paslak's obviously here, which won't probably touch the field this year. Lacroix for 30 million sounds like it's worth it. It will be. Unfortunately, it won't be us doing it. It looks like he will be heading to Leipzig. They got some money to spend. Throw Moukoko on left wing. You could. I do still think that Moukouko's a little bit of time away from starting in the Bundesliga. There are some options as well. I mean, you obviously playing in a two-striker formation could suit a lot of the players on this Dortmund squad. It's going to be the last thing we do on today's episode is kind of touch on some of the different formations we could run. But Moukoko could definitely play in the left wing. He has done it before last season. Dortmund have already signed a new CB from PSG. They did. They signed Koulibaly. That's a bit of a hot take. If we were on form, we were last season, throughout the whole season, we could have won the Bundesliga. We could. A big thing with us is we're having to rely on Bayern having a poor season. But Bayern had a poor season in 2019. That was our year to win. And we didn't take it. And it was eating me alive. You're right about Haaland's release clause. He may not be having one. The club is doing a secret stuff. Remember the contract extension for Sancho? I do. And honestly, guys, it wouldn't surprise me if we signed Haaland to the same type of deal. Like no change in the years, nothing like that, but give him a lot more money. Dortmund have been known to do that in the past, to not extend the years, because, I mean, they know realistically they won't be able to probably extend the amount of years on Haaland's contract because he's already on a long-term contract, but they can give him a lot more money, which will probably make him happy, keep him there, and keep him to stay. What's your thoughts on Delaney? Personally, my favorite Dortmund player. I like Thomas Delaney a lot. I think he's an excellent player. I thought he was phenomenal in that 2019 season with Axel Witsel, one of my favorite defensive midfield partnerships I've probably ever seen at Dortmund. I thought that he had a lot of good looks this year when we were playing in the 4-3-2-1 with Bellingham and De Hood. I thought he's that natural 6 that you want playing above the back 4. I think that allows De Hood and Bellingham to really show what they're capable of. And yeah, I mean, he's 29. It did look like for a second there he had some links to Southampton, but I do think that he more than likely will stay this year. Because 10 million for Delaney is just, nothing. But but he's only got one more year on his contract, so we have to see. Good player, though. Is Sancho going to leave BVB? If I had to put money on it, I'd say yes. I think that he's going to go to Manchester United this summer. I think United's going to just eventually give up and give him the contract and the money that Dortmund want, and it's as easy as that. I hope Jude doesn't leave Dortmund like Sancho. It's annoying how we are turning talent into nurturing team. Well, that was the issue with any English player. It's the reason I absolutely do not want to see Tammy Abraham or Callum Hudson-Odoi come here. I've said this for a while. What is the point? I don't think that Tammy Abraham is really a good striker. I don't. I'm not a fan of Tammy Abraham, period. I do think Callum Hudson-Odoi is a good player, but he's already been linked to Dortmund. He's been linked to Bayern. He's going to cost a lot of money. He's a young English player who's overhyped and will cost an arm and a leg. If we do any type of swap deal with Haaland to Chelsea for Abraham or Callum Hudson-Odoi, we will be ripped off. They will stay for 2 seasons. They will do well, and then they will get shipped back to the Premier League, and I'm just absolutely not having it. Do you have a full-time job? I did have a full-time job while we started the channel, due to the success from you guys, and a big shout out. Obviously, we have some work that we're doing with Borussia Dortmund. We have a fun project that we're working on that will be announced probably within the month. There's a lot of little projects that I'm doing, and because of that, I was able to make a decision in my life to kind of go for it. So probably why you guys will notice I'll be streaming a little bit more and a little bit of a shake-up in terms of what we're doing here on the channel. But yeah, my full-time job is now kind of a part-time job, and I am able to do the channel, do some stuff with Dortmund. And I don't know, it's very cool, I'm very proud, and I couldn't thank you guys enough for the support. And I can't wait for the little announcement to come up within the month. So stay tuned, you international Dortmund fans. I won't be surprised if Sancho stays at Dortmund for one more year. I'd be generally surprised. I think that one of the stars are going to leave this year. I think it's pretty much written in the stars. I don't think that we can go out and buy any players if they don't. And I think sooner rather than later, United's just going to say, F it. Here you go. Here's the 90 mil or whatever it is that they're going to take, and Sancho's going to be out the door. That's just my take, but we thought that was maybe going to happen last year, and it didn't. What's going on with Zagadou? It seems like the second coming of a great defender, but now the inconsistency are showing a lot. Yeah, man, I don't know. I'm not sold on Zagadou either. I think there's a lot of talent in there, but it's hard. It's hard, like I said, when you have in-form Hummels and Akanji in general, it's hard to get into this squad, but he's been injured so much. There's been inconsistent plays from him in general as well. I mean, he should be able to learn from that, but when you don't play and your injuries pile up, it's hard to progress as a player, and I think that he's taken a real step back due to these injuries. Hopefully he'll be able to stay fit, show a little bit of depth to our center back positions, but his track record is not very good with it. You have no idea about the Bundesliga. Fernando, how you doing, my friend? Some random guy who was going off about the CONCACAF. How about Royce? It seems like he's in the form of his life. I expect Marco Royce to have a huge impact next year, man. Huge impact. And I think he'll probably be our starting center attacking mid, while Gio will be the backup, and question marks will be over Brandt. If Man United bottle this again, I don't think Sancho will recover. That's a good question, man. I don't know what's gonna happen if they bottle it. I mean, United have to know that Dortmund aren't willing to negotiate. It's this price or it's no price. So if United aren't willing to play, which they have the money to do, then that's on them, man. Check out the new tweet of BVB News Blog. I will. And for those of you guys who don't know, these transfers today and the nice schedule was brought to you by our friends at BVB Network. So if you have Instagram, go check them out. It's their latest post is where we touch on a lot of these points. So a big shout out to them for allowing me to use this. But I will head over to Twitter right now and take a look at BVB News Blog. And we can have, I guess, a breaking reaction on whatever it may be. News. I put ruse. All right, let's take a look. The last one was Real Madrid's new coach, Carlo Ancelotti is a big fan of Guerrero. If Real Madrid are struggling financially and get serious about Guerrero, they would have to pay at least 60 mil. Borussia Dortmund knows. That is an interesting post. I don't buy it. Guerrero to Real Madrid. Thank you for the update, my friend. That's very interesting. Nice, we got a breaking news here. I'm going to digest that for a second, then come back to you guys with it. So, Guerrero to Real Madrid. I'm going to say BS, but I don't know. I think Guerrero personally loves this squad, man. I don't think that he's looking to move on. I don't think Dortmund are looking to move him on. 60 mil is a lot for a wingback. I think that Madrid will probably look elsewhere. I mean, of course, Ancelotti's a big fan of Guerrero. How can he not be a big fan of Guerrero? He's an excellent fullback. But I don't know. I don't personally see it. Let me know what you guys think. That's obviously breaking news. Guerrero to Madrid. It would scare the crap out of me. I would be absolutely gutted if Guerrero moved on, especially for that type of money. It'd be so hard to replace him. I'd honestly go to PSV and I'd look at bringing Max back to the Bundesliga. I thought Max was at one point gonna be the person to make a jump to Dortmund, not Schultz. He ended up going over from Augsburg to PSV, but I mean, it'd be such a downgrade, man. No disrespect to Max, but that's crazy. I don't buy it though, but we'll have to see the way that one develops. Could be wrong, but St. Juste can play right back as well. It could be very versatile. He can, but I think it's no different than Akanji playing right back. If you guys remember what Akanji's first half season at Dortmund, he played as a left back, he played as a right back because he's a fast defender. St. Juste is not a natural right back. He's not, in my opinion, he's not our answer. I'd rather start Meunier and bank the fact that he'll be better. St. Juste is a center back and can play as an outside center back because of his pace in a back three. He has played right back before, but again, I'm not sold that he would do it over the course of a season. Does Sancho play today? We're going to find out. If I'm going to put my money on it, I'm going to say no. He may be on the bench, but I don't think that he's going to play. On the 25th, we'll find out our new schedule. Yes, we will, and I will stream it here for you guys so we can discuss some of the matches. There's some cool stuff we're doing with Dortmund coming up for a couple of the games, so it should be pretty cool. Do you think we will get Locatelli? 1,000% no. Too expensive for 40 mil and in a position that we don't need. Because of the whole Sancho saga last season, I've developed a deep passion sense of hatred towards the whole Manchester United fan base. I remember getting harassed on Twitter. Yeah, I mean, yeah, everyone did. There was a real blow up over Sancho. I had some very passionate United fans, a lot of passionate Dortmund fans, and they were just going toe to toe. We obviously had the last lap. We were able to keep them. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I can see it. We had a little bit of hate from some Chelsea fans here on the channel in one of the videos when I was making fun of Tammy Abraham. I was rightfully so saying that that was a stupid deal, but you know, the Prem fans, my man. Check out BVB Network's latest post. That's what this entire stream is about, my man. So if you guys haven't checked out BVB Network's latest post on Instagram, go check it out. We've touched on all of their points. So if you guys have if you want me to revisit any of the points that we've looked at today, feel free to put them in the chat. But yeah, big shout out to BVB Network for allowing me to use their tweet. They're some awesome people over there, and yeah, it was very fun, man. Test game against Houston in less than a month. 2 friendlies during the training camp. Yeah, I saw that. Someone put it on Twitter. It looks like we played Bilbao as well, and I can't remember who the other team was, but there's a few teams in there, so that should be a lot of fun as well, guys. We'll obviously stream the watch-alongs here on the channel and take a look at maybe some of the young players who will get a look. I'm assuming we'll see Renier in there. Probably Emmanuel Fry will come back from loan. Knauf should have a little look as well. Should be fun. We don't need Locatelli. Wasn't even on anyone's radar until his last goals. So that's not 100% true, Angie. We like I have touched on Locatelli earlier in the channel. We have been linked with Locatelli before. They weren't severe links by any stretch, but Dortmund has looked at Locatelli in the past. We will not sign him. He's way too expensive, and when you start shining in the Euros, your stock just rises. It will probably get more than 40 mil for him. Dortmund won't spend that kind of money on that position or that kind of money in general, but we will see. No matter the rapid price, we shouldn't sell. I wholeheartedly agree with you, my man. Free Haaland. We will free him to score 30 goals in the Bundesliga next season, my man. I remember Man United fans calling Sancho finished when he started this season slowly. Yeah, he did. Obviously, the transfer saga got into his head, and I just don't think Dortmund wanna risk that, man. I really don't. I do think that they're gonna move him on, and I mean, Jadon Sancho, in my opinion, has just been a breath of fresh air. We've had some ugly transfers that have happened here over the years. Dembele, Aubameyang, players wanting out, causing a fuss. Sancho has been nothing but a good guy and showed it on and off the pitch. So I mean, I wish him the best if he does want to head to United. It is sad though. I will miss him. I think Sancho will be on the bench today. That is my guess as well, Angie. Hi, No Beard Josh. Gully, my guy. How you doing? I know I shaved it off. Looked a little look a little younger now. Your channel is so helpful for Dortmund news. Cheers, mate. I appreciate it, my friend. We have a good community here. A lot of this stuff today was touched on from BVB Network, and again, a big shout out for them for allowing me to touch on a lot of their points. It is very cool. The one point we haven't touched on yet is some of the ways that we can line up next year, and that is one of the questions I'm seeing coming up, and I like it. So guys, if there's 3 formations Marco Rosa plays, he plays, in my opinion, his favorite and probably our starting position. It is the 4-2-3-1. Then he plays the 4-3-3, and he's known to play the diamond formation, which is the 4-1-2-1-2, which is what I'm assuming that you're referring to, Kareem, when you say, what do you think our lineup will be if we go with the 4-4-2? Now, if you're talking about a traditional 4-4-2, you can let me know, but Marco Rose doesn't play a traditional 4-4-2. He will do the 4-1-2-1-2 diamond formation, so I will give you a beautiful little look at it. And I'm going to do it under the assumption that Sancho is sold and Malen is brought in. So in goal will be Kobel. Right back will be Meunier. Absolutely. Any right back position now will have Meunier there. Due to the fact that he's finding form in our right back situation, I don't think we're going to sign anyone. Meunier to start as our starting right back. Hummels and Akanji will be our two center backs. Guerrero, our left back. The holding midfielder, I would say Delaney. I have a feeling that maybe Emre Can would be preferred because it's usually preferred. But for me, the holding midfielder in the diamond will be Thomas Delaney. The two center midfielders, the box-to-box, the beautiful partnership of Bellingham and Dahoud. Our cam will be Royce, strikers, Malen, and Haaland. So that's a sexy-looking lineup, man, if you ask me. I'm not a big fan of the 4-1-2-1-2 formation, though, so I like wingers in my squad, but there will always be a time for it, and it's a good look. You think you could best Man United if we match up against them in the Champions League? I don't know. It depends. The form that we were in towards the end of the season, I think there's a good shot. I think it's going to... I mean, I think if I'm looking at the tail end of last year, we would have beat United, in my opinion. If I'm looking at the beginning of last year, we would have lost. And I don't know how to make a judgment on it. It's going to depend on what United do in the transfer window. If they take Sancho, they've hurt our team and very much increased theirs. So we'll have to take a look and see. But those are my guesses. We were red hot at the end of the season. I wouldn't have wanted any team to come up against us. Yeah, I remember making a post on Twitter about Chelsea's fail of a swap, and immediately Tammy Abraham fan called me a clown. Yeah, Tammy Abraham doesn't belong at Dortmund, man. He belongs at like a team like West Ham or Crystal Palace. Diaby or Bailey? If it was me and I had to look at one to replace Sancho, I'd go Diaby. I don't know. Oh man, I don't know. That's a good question. I'd probably go Bailey. I like the explosiveness of Diaby. I think Bailey's a better finisher. That's something that sometimes we lack. So I would probably go Liam Bailey. They're both wicked fast. They're both natural wingers. But Bailey can hit from distance, which Diaby can't, and Bailey's a better finisher. I am doing good, bro. Hope you're having a good Friday. I am. A nice morning coffee with some transfer talk with you guys. Absolutely living the dream. I appreciate it. Drop a like, guys, on this stream if you haven't done so yet. Subscribe if you guys are new. And keep the questions coming. It's the best way to start a Friday. What were the reactions to the UEFA Champions League and UEFA Europa League final, considering that Dortmund's pot place was at stake? It was funny. I knew it was actually hilarious because the best scenario for me was Villarreal winning and then Chelsea winning. I wanted Villarreal to win because I wanted United to lose, but Villarreal winning knocked us down a pot, so that kind of sucked. So when it happened, I was like, yay, but crap. Then I'm like, well, it could always be made up for it if we won the next, or if Chelsea beat City, which I thought would be funny as well. They did, and it was just, yeah, I was thrilled with both results. I didn't want to see an English team win both, and I thought it was such a cool story for Villarreal. And then Chelsea put us back up to the pot where we belong. So, yeah, I loved it. Diaby or Bailey, if you could decide. So, yeah, I'd go Bailey. Just for the more attributes he has to his game over Diaby. I know we can't judge the team during the test games as the team will be incomplete, but interested in seeing what rows the team will look like. I agree. I'm very curious to see what formations he goes with. My bet is that he'll just go with a straight-up 4-3-3 in the exhibition games. A 4-1-2-1-2 is a hard formation to implement when you don't know exactly what you're going to have. You're going to have a lot of wingers on display as well. So I just think it's going to be a natural 4-3-3. I really do, and I'm curious to see how he does. We got Cheering Josh. I like it. Malen Haaland really rolls off the tongue, right? It just sounded natural, man. The 4-1-2-1-2 could be a very useful formation for us on certain points of the season. Dortmund should go after Memphis Depay. He's a free option. So, guys, fun fact from a good source, we were told that the Depay deal last season was almost done. The graphics were made. Memphis Depay was literally that close to coming to Dortmund, which until I had this conversation with this gentleman, had no idea. I just always felt like it wouldn't happen. But to know that we were serious contenders and we could have got Depay kind of bums me out. He won't come to us now. I think he's sold on reuniting with Ronald Koeman at Barca, and our ship has kind of sailed. But I mean, his young Dutch counterpart, Daniel Malen, I don't have an issue with it. But yes, we should have and we could have signed Depay, but we won't, unfortunately, now. When will Sancho leave? I'm assuming probably after the Euros would be my best guess. What do you think Mukuku's role next season will be? Potential breakout year? I mean, I don't want to be negative about it. I don't think it's going to be a potential breakout year for Mukuku. I don't think he's going to have that many minutes. I think that he's still going to be used probably similar to the way he was this year. Useful for coming off the bench, starting every once in a while. He is still so young, and we have still so much talent. So it's not a shot at his development or where he is. It's just the fact that we have a good squad, and even if we lose Sancho, we're going to replace him. We're going to replace him with a player like Malen who deserves to start. We still have Brandt not getting minutes. It's not an easy team to break into, but I think he'll be more of a bench role as well. Murray's here. How you doing, my man? Says Depay is too expensive on his wages, and he doesn't fit the philosophy of the club like Dortmund. I agree. And it's probably maybe why the deal last year broke down, but I do think it's noteworthy to know that the deal was very close, to the point that they had graphics ready to announce it. But he won't be coming now. Who do you think will win, Portugal or Germany? Coincidentally, it falls on my birthday, and I support Portugal. Fate, I guess. Well, there you go, man. Happy early birthday. I don't know. I feel like this one's got a draw written all over it. I feel like it's got a draw for a certain reason. I mean, if it does end up as a draw, Portugal's got their 4 points. If Germany beats Hungary, which more than likely is expected, they have their 4 points, and that means all 3 in the group will move on. So I do think that'll weigh on the minds. I do think that Germany will attack a little bit more, but I feel like in the end of the day that they'll be happy with a point. Depay is going to be expensive. He's going to be expensive in terms of the wages, absolutely. Did you hear about the Guendouzi rumors? I did. Guendouzi is a solid footballer, but again, we don't need him. Unless we sell one of our midfielders. We have Witsel coming back from injury. We have Delaney. We have Chan. We have Bellingham. We have Dahoud. That's 5. We don't need another one whatsoever. We have young Rashel as well, who can be called up. He had an excellent season with the U23s. We absolutely do not need him at all unless we move on somebody, which I think those rumors are just one of the ones that come in and then head right out. Should we send Rashel or Knauf out on loan or keep them just in case? I think keep them. And I think the fact that we got promoted to the 3rd division for our U23s is massive, because that's such a huge step. And some of these players, like Knauf, when he's not playing, because I do think there'll be an opportunity for him to shine on that wing this year. And I even think that Toby will have an opportunity to come in as well. But when they're not playing for Dortmund, they're still playing at a relatively competitive level. Maybe a loan move at the end of the day could have been a better look. But I love the fact that they can still play at a good level like that and still have little bits and pieces here to play with Dortmund. But no, I mean, I wouldn't loan either one of them out, especially Knauf. Guendouzi has signed for Marseille. There you go. If that's true, I mean, that makes sense. I really didn't think that we were going to go for him. But yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I think I can see Guendouzi being successful at Marseille. But I don't see us signing a defensive midfielder, which is why Guendouzi and Locatelli won't be coming here. I don't want English players anymore. Neither do I. It has to be this right kind of deal. Bellingham was a little bit expensive, but we're going to make so much money off of him, and he's an absolutely fantastic footballer. Worth it. Same goes for Sancho. We're going to make bank off of him. But if we had the swap deal for a Tammy Abraham, for a Callum Hudson-Odoi, if we would have went for Dean Henderson, those 3 players would cost a lot of money. There's not a lot for them to probably break their ceiling, and we won't even get a ton of money back for them. So, yeah, and they'd only stay for 2 years. So I agree with you. I don't want any English players as well, unless we go out there and find a young, promising gem like Sancho. I would take Promes from Ajax. So Promes is playing actually for Sparta Moscow now in Russia. He had a big falling out with some issues there at Ajax, which led to him returning to Sparta Moscow, where he'll probably see out the majority of his career. So definitely won't be coming to Dortmund. He was a good player, though. Who can you see coming up from the youth squad? I mean, like, if you count Canal and Rashel, those are the two number ones that you want to look at. I'm a big fan of Maloney. Very young. He's an American player. For those of you guys who maybe aren't familiar with him, he plays as the outside left center back. I think that, I mean, with our center back issues, he could be a nice little look there. He hasn't had any real looks. Another interesting one, like Dennis said, is what are your thoughts on Stefan Tigges? I think Tigges is a good player, but I don't think he's gonna have a look at the main squad. He's 22 years old. It's not like he's 18, 19 breaking out like someone like Knauf is. I don't think he's gonna start over Haaland or even Mukuku, and he's definitely not gonna start over now an added Malen. So I feel like he's gonna probably stay with the U23s and probably like playing at that kind of level, but I just don't think that he's gonna be having much of an impact for Dortmund this season. Ancelotti's interested in Guerrero. Who isn't interested in Guerrero? Come on. But yeah, I hope it's not true. We were told live here on the stream about it. Kind of scary because I don't know what we would do if we lost Guerrero, man. He's a player who has flown under the radar for a long, long time in terms of just worldwide type of action when it comes to him. People don't know how good he is, but us Dortmund fans do. So it's nice to see him get interest from the likes of Madrid, but I do think he's going to stay. But we'll have to keep an eye on that story as it progresses. Locatelli, Bailey, and Malen. We will not sign Locatelli. I'm 1,000% convinced on that. I'm pretty convinced we will sign Malen, and I'm also very convinced we will not sign Leon Bailey or Diaby for that matter. I would take all three. Who wouldn't? But in being realistic, I don't think that. I know Locatelli won't come, and I'm pretty confident Bailey won't come either. I really hope that Rashel, Knauf, and Collins. Yes, Collins another one I did not mention. He's one that has been very highly sought after for a while now. A lot of Dortmund fans have been asking for him to get a look in the main squad. I feel like they said that this year, a couple of rumors said that he will get a little look. So probably get ready for that preseason, those opening preseason games. You'll probably see all three of these players in there. But a few cameo appearances would be nice. Murray, I think that we will see all three at some point throughout the season. Gully says, I watched the Copa America yesterday, bro. Their games are so much more fun and energetic. Copa America could be fun, man. Could be fun. I did not see the games. I watched the highlights. Brazil game, they were running rampant. Was fun. If you were a footballer player, would you rather be Roy's type of player or push your limits? Now, in which way? Do you mean in the way that Marco Reus never moved on from Dortmund, or that Marco Reus decided not to represent the Euros? I think the right decision for him to not represent Germany at the Euros was the right one. He's 32. He's had a ton of injuries. He wants to keep playing. There's nothing wrong with doing that. He's protecting his body and prolonging his playing career. In terms of you're asking if I'd be a player like Reus and stay loyal to my club, or take a look at a Barca Madrid, I'd like to think that I'd be loyal to my club. Now, I've never been put in a situation where the best of the world are calling. Reus has. Reus has stayed loyal, and it's why he's a living legend among Dortmund fans, and he's cut from a different cloth. So I'd like to think I'd be like him. He's an idol of mine growing up. And yeah, so that's kind of what I'm thinking. Ben White is going upwards of 50 million. Lacroix is 30 million, and he's way clear. English tax is real. Spot on, man. That's absolutely spot on. It's why like I said, those Dean Henderson rumors coming in were making me sick to my stomach. Do not want Dean Henderson. He would cost an arm and a leg. He's not even that good of a keeper. And he would just head back to the Prem for probably a good chunk of money as well. But it's just, for me, it's not worth it. I'd take Kobel over Henderson any day, even though Kobel wasn't even my favorite. Really doubt Madrid will go for Guerrero now that they have Mendy, Marcelo, and Alba. I think Marcelo might go out, but yes, I mean, adding Alba, he can play there as well. Mendy should be their starting left back. I just feel like it's one of those rumors, and that's not much to say, but I agree with you, my man. Chelsea don't want Guerrero. Never said they did. Chelsea want Haaland. BVB U19 will be fired next season. They will, man. They will. Josh, BVB never spent over 35 million on a player. Exactly. That's why I was trying to tell you guys in terms of finding a Sancho replacement, it's easier said than done, because Malen is like the type of replacement you're going to find. 30 mil. That's all they're going to spend probably to replace him. It's why when I immediately saw the Locatelli link and the fact that it said 40 mil, I already knew it was not going to happen, as well as the position. So, yeah, don't expect Dortmund to spend over 35 mil this year on any player. Why do you think that Bailey and Diaby won't come? I think that they're more Sancho-like replacements than Malen. You're absolutely spot on. My logic behind it is that Leverkusen probably doesn't want to do business with Dortmund. I mean, they sold Brandt to us. There's been a lot of communication, a lot of transfers back and forth from Leverkusen and Dortmund. And I feel like if Leverkusen's looking to move on Diaby or Bailey, they'd ship him to another league. That's one issue. I don't disagree that Bailey and Diaby would fit more natural than Sancho. I just don't think that they'll be overly keen to do that type of business. The other big thing about it is the fact that I think that they might be looking for Haaland as well. I've always talked about Haaland because he's versatile. He can play as a winger. He gives you that option as a striker. And if Haaland moves on in a season, Haaland can just shift, and now there's your starting striker. And then we go out and we have to buy a new winger. So that's my theory behind it. Even though I do absolutely agree with you, the fact that he's not a like for like replacement for Sancho. That is the truth. If the Malen deal falls through like the pie, who else can come to replace Sancho? That's so tough. I really don't think it will fall through. I feel like it's a good look for both clubs. If it does, I mean, honestly, Diaby and Bailey, like I just alluded to, would be the natural replacements. But I'm gonna try to look out of the Bundesliga because I don't think that going for another Bundesliga club and going for their stars is the right choice because I don't think that the deal will come. Oh, you're making this hard. It's got to be someone young. It's got to be someone who costs about 30 mil. It can't come from the Premier League. It's maybe a young Brazilian. Maybe like an Everton from Benfica, something like that. Maybe a Correa from Porto, someone who's a little underwhelming. Or maybe someone from the Dutch league as well. And Anthony from that. There's the answer. Anthony from Ajax would be my replacement. Young Brazilian, talented, from a good winger. Dumfries. Steve, I agree, man. He's unreal. I would like him at Dortmund. It won't happen though. Dortmund needed everything that they needed to be able to convince themselves that, you know what? Bang, Meunier our guy next year. And Meunier's doing all the right things to show it. Bro, Neymar yesterday was going crazy. Buddy has skills after skills, and I cried during the game of happiness. Yeah, I saw watching the highlights of the Neymar game yesterday. He was lights out. He was lights out. He's a good player. Always plays better, in my opinion, for his country than his club. BVB always buys some dangerous wingers, which is not on the radar over the years. Very true. Very true. I answered that one. Hi, Josh. I just have to come here playing some Minecraft. How you doing, my man? Hope you're doing well. We're doing a little nice transfer talk today. Some breaking news as well. You guys have been good. The English tax is real everywhere. Even in FIFA, English players are 30 times more expensive for the same stats. There you go. You're absolutely right. It's why I want to build a Bundesliga team. Any foot team I ever had has been Bundesliga. Josh, you think Guendouzi is going to our club for 12 million? No, I don't think he is. And someone just told me that he signed for Marseille. But Guendouzi, Locatelli will not be coming to Dortmund. What do you think about the Malen in the Euros? I thought he's been positive. I mean, I'd like to see him start. I'd honestly like to see him play a 4-3-3 and start him on the wing, Depay on the wing, and Weghorst through the middle. Just to kind of get a look, because that's probably where he'll be playing with us. But he's been coming off the bench. He's got an assist. He's looked lively, but I haven't seen it. You haven't seen enough of him. I think it's better to develop English talent rather than buying hyped English talent in the Prem. I remember Brighton were close to charging 80 million for Lewis Dunk. I agree. Like I said, if you're gonna buy a player that's from England and is English, you have to be very clever about it. Bellingham and Sancho were two sort of risks, huge reward. I don't think they would have got the same reward for getting someone like Abraham or Callum Hudson-Odoi. Everyone's saying that BVB won't spend more than 30 million. BVB spent 35 on a 30-year-old Mats Hummels. Yeah, I mean, I said you probably won't see Dortmund spend over 35 to 40. I mean, you never know. They may break their transfer record. I have a feeling that they won't break their transfer record this summer, which means you're probably not going to see over 35 mil being spent. That is true. And we also spent a lot of money on Andre Schürrle. So, Guerrero being so underrated helps us keep him away from greedy eyes. Nicely said. I agree with you, my man. I came a bit late. Can you sum up what you've said? I've said a lot during the course of this stream, my man. The main points, I guess, to fly through them. I'm going to go over to Instagram, guys, and check out BVB Network's latest post. We were lucky enough to let them... They basically made my stream about them. But basically, we summed up the fact that Schultz may move on. Sancho and Berkey will probably move on. Hazard and Brandt will be given opportunities. De Hood will maybe sign an extension. Haaland will not be leaving this summer. Kobel was Marco Rosa's first signing. He did have an impact on that. We talked about some of the systems that he's going to play, the 4-1-2-1-2, 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1. And on July 1st, Marco Rosa will take charge of Dortmund with Edin Terzic as his assistant. And now we've been touching on some of the breaking news like Guerrero, Guendouzi, some of the fun stuff like that. BVB and Bayern don't do swap deals. Doesn't matter the type of cash or money. Yep, we should stay away with deal from Bayern in general for forever, in my opinion. We should convince Sancho to stay. His favorite club was Chelsea, and honestly, Man United isn't an upgrade to Dortmund. Well, there was rumors that Chelsea was looking at Sancho as well, and instead of going for them, I was told that Sancho wants to go to United. United is the landing spot that he wants to be. Very weird, considering he's a Chelsea fan, but that's what I was heard. Buying Hummels for that amount of cash was a one-off. It was necessary to bring some sort of defensive leader back after he left originally. We were solely lacking. I agree. We had Mark Bartra in there, who just was not the replacement that we needed. But yeah, it was more of a one-off, and it was kind of a romantic return. It was a transfer that Lucien Favre did not want to happen. And he was pretty frustrated with it. Would you prefer Dumfries or Baku? I'd prefer Baku. He's used to the league. He can play as a winger as well, which we lack depth. I'd take either one, though, to be honest. Ramos, any chance? Not a chance. Zero chance Sergio Ramos joins us. You think Sancho will leave this summer? I do. I'm 90% sure he'll leave. I'm 90% sure Haaland will stay, if that's any consolation. Added benefit of our boys being promoted and our FIFA players out there, all in the boys into FIFA. Yeah, it's a nice way to look at it. We should start at least charge more for Sancho since he is English. I think, well, they've already set their price tag. It is a lot of money. We'll see if United's gonna go on it or not. But Guerrero to Real, I heard Ancelotti wants him. We just heard that as well. I don't think it's gonna go down like that. I think that Guerrero's going to stay. I'd be very surprised if Madrid dropped 60 million to bring in Guerrero when they have Ferland Mendy there. Marcelo is still with the club. They got some young talent. Alaba, who can play as a center back and also plays a left back. And one of the viewers made those points, and he was spot on. So I don't see it, and I don't see Guerrero really wanting to move. I do think he likes it here. Josh, you think we are going to beat Liverpool for Malen? I do. I think Malen... There has been a gentleman's agreement for a long time with Malen. And I think that this deal is low-key, and this is a rumor. I mean, this is a rumor created by me. Not that the deal is close, but I think that there's been an ongoing agreement basically for a long time now. So I'd be very surprised if he. Why don't you do a Discord Q&A with fans on Discord? Invite to a private channel, have a podcast type thing, and you can post highlights to YouTube. It's not a bad idea. I gave a community board to see what I could do that you guys wanted to see, and I was thinking of just starting to invite some of you guys on the channel. Something along the lines of putting out a tweet or saying who wants to come on the channel, and then I give you the link to StreamYard, and you join me live for discussion and talk about some of the transfers. We're working on that right now to get some of you guys, because that's been a highly requested from you guys on the channel, was to get a way to involve a little bit more. So if you guys like that idea, drop a like on today's stream and just put a W or an L in the chat. But I am going to try to find a way to get you guys on the channel a little bit more and invite you on. And whether you want to show your face or you just want to talk, we can shoot the shit for a little bit, and then I can get another viewer on. And that's one way I was doing it. And hopefully you guys like that idea. I think 35 for Hummels was a mistake. We should have kept Dalio and Toprak instead. Yeah, and that was the manager agreed, man. He was very upset that they replaced Dalio with Hummels. It was not what Lucien Favre wanted to do. He didn't want he missed the speed and versatility of Dalio, but it was kind of out of his hands, man. No, Hummels is the best center back this season. He has been. He absolutely has been. I mean, I like Mats Hummels. I'm glad that deal happened, but it wasn't the deal that the manager wanted at the time. Lucien Favre did not want Hummels to come back. He wanted Dalio, and that started a lot of the miscommunication between the clubs. Favre or Terzic? Terzic did incredible, which is why I wanted him to potentially move on and find another full-time kind of gig. But I'm excited to have him back for another season. Hopefully, him and Marco Rose can do something special. Can we get Frankfurt Silva? We've been linked to him before. I don't think that we will because I don't think that Haaland is moving on. Hi, bro. How are you? I'm doing well. Enjoying the transfer talk this morning. You guys have been very awesome in the chat. It's been a lot of fun. I don't think Andre Silva fits our team besides both Silva and Kostic. I don't think Silva will be joining, man. I don't because, like I said, Haaland, in my opinion, will be staying. Plus, we have Malen and Mukuku as well. Berardi and Locatelli. There's an interesting one, man. So Locatelli, like I said, will not be joining. But when I was watching the Italy game the other day, Berardi, who's Locatelli's teammate, he's a phenomenal winger. And he's someone who should probably move on from Sassuolo sometime soon. He scored a couple seasons ago, 15 goals, 10 assists. He's still sticking with his squad. He's captain. He's now playing for Italy. He would be a real natural replacement for Sancho. I'm not going to lie, on FIFA 21 career mode, we bought him. But there's been no rumors about it, and I don't think it'll happen, but it's not bad, man. It's not bad. Josh, so smug when he said, rumor created by me. I didn't mean it that way. I meant it's my opinion, not a rumor created by me. My assumption is that the Malen deal behind the scenes is closer than it looks, and it's always been that way. It's one, you know what, you guys know that those surprise transfers that just pop up out of nowhere, it's done just like that. It's like, where did that come from? That kind of what I feel like with the Malen deal when it does happen, that the deal's been done for a while, but I could be wrong. That's why I said take it with a grain of salt. It's coming from me. I'm not a professional transfer rumor man. I just kind of tell you guys my opinions, as well as have some nice gentlemen out there who give me some insight as well. I don't think that Hummels was a mistake. He's one of our best players. I would have loved to keep Dalio, though. I would have too. Ooh, where are we? At least by selling some of our loan players to BVB, yeah, we still have Wolf. Like, in my opinion, Marius Wolf needs to be sold as well. But Angie, I agree with you. He almost made a comeback on money of Kobo. We don't get and we don't see Real getting Guerrero. Yeah, I do think that there's some dead wood on this team that we need to ship out. Again, no disrespect to any of those players. I just think that it's probably for the best for them as well as the club to potentially move on. We will have to see, though. I think Hummels hated Favre. He publicly criticized his tactics. Yeah, there was definitely something going on there. What electronic game do you play? I don't really play games much anymore. I am debating whether to get back into to doing a BVB career mode. You guys have been asking for it in the suggestions. I have a little bit more time. If you guys would like to see a Dortmund career mode, either this summer a little bit with FIFA 21 or wait till next year, let me know, because that is something I'm debating. But FIFA would be the only game I've ever really played. Snake Hummels, not having it. Dortmund are looking closely to signing highly rated PSG midfielder. Yeah, Kamara, I haven't looked too much into him. I've heard a lot of good things. Not the first time we've recruited a young Frenchman, so we'll have to see, man. Rafinha or Malen as Sancho replacement? I've been talking about Malen all season long, so I got to stick with my guy. I know his agent is someone that no one wants to deal with, but I do think that Malen is the profile we need to come in here and can make a difference. And the biggest thing with Dortmund is the thing about Malen too is that if Haaland can't make a game because of injury or card or whatever, we have someone who can put the ball in the back of the net instead of putting someone like Brandt or Hazard as our striker. Or a young Mukuku. Nothing against him yet, but doesn't have that experience. Love the idea of bringing in fans. I am too, man. I am too. I do like the idea. We got to make sure we do it properly, but it is something I'm going to try to do soon with some of you guys as well. Ikone. Ikone was one I was excited about, but it turned out to be a little bit of nothing. But how do you think that Dortmund versus Bochum will be considered, considering it's the new minor Revier derby? I'm excited that Bochum got put up for that reason. We lost Schalke, but hopefully there will be a new nice little rivalry that will be created because I don't think Schalke is bouncing back anytime soon. Nave says, how old are you? I am 25 years old, my man, 25. Shaved off the beard, so maybe I look a little bit younger, but I'm 25. Terzic or Klopp? Different question for me. I think Klopp is better for now. Klopp is a much better manager than Terzic, my guy. Terzic has got a long way to go. A long way to go to come anywhere close to where Klopp has been. But Terzic is on the right track, and there's a lot of positivity there. It's why I wanted to see him move on and take a full-time job instead of going back to a secondary role. But either way, yeah, I think Terzic is going to learn a lot from Rosa this season if he stays, and eventually he'll get a full-time job because Terzic does have that kind of talent, my man. What's your second favorite Bundesliga club? Ooh, my second favorite Bundesliga club. My favorite color is green. I always had a little soft spot, I guess, for Wolfsburg, but I don't know. I don't usually go into a game and cheer for any other Bundesliga club for any other reason than the fact that those points could affect where Dortmund is in the standings. I did have a soft spot for Werder Bremen as well. It sucked that they got relegated this year, but I don't know. It's just really Dortmund for me. Let me know who you got. Do you guys have a second Bundesliga club, sort of? Or do you have a soft spot for one? Let me know. Hey, yo, Josh, at this point, it's almost as if we were best friends. So why don't you just let me win the Ant Stadium? Yep, you guys don't want to miss that contest. So head over to our Twitter and make sure you enter it. It's my pinned tweet. All you got to do is retweet and you get the chance to enter and win a one-of-a-kind replica of the Westfalen. A lot of comments coming in, guys. Damn. Where was I? I lost. So if I missed one of your comments, guys, I just got lost in where I was, so I'm very sorry. Brandt will be the next Royce under Rosa. You got confidence, my man. I don't. I just don't see it. I don't see a way that he can come in. I think Brandt is very technically gifted. He has the potential to become De Bruyne. No, man. He doesn't. I'm sorry. I like the positivity around Brandt. He is a very gifted player. He will not become De Bruyne, though. Not even close. He needs to leave Dortmund, in my opinion, to get minutes if he wants to get his career in general back on track. I like the fact that BVB showed that Januzaj was not good, as the English media were saying in English, but overhyped them. Yeah, English media is known to do that. I hope BVB don't sign Malen with a release clause. I'd like to think that they wouldn't. This is not a Dortmund question, but have you seen the Canada 40-man preliminary squad? It was released today. I have not seen it yet. I was streaming. More than likely, I'm going to probably end up doing 3 streams today. Maybe I'll go live after lunch and do it, and I'll talk about it. But very excited. Very excited that Jebsen's in there. Like I said, Daniel Jebsen had a soft link to Dortmund. He's Canadian, man, so low-key goal of Josh's, but I can't wait to check it out after the stream, my man. I always hear from Premier League fans, GBFC for Chelsea, for example, that they expect our players like Sancho, Haaland, Bellingham to leave this summer. I mean, it's probably a bit of a narrative, the reason that they do it. I mean, I really like George Benson's channel. I think he's a very intelligent man, funny guy. I don't know. I'd like to think that I have a bit more of an insight on what happens just through some connections here at the club. And if you want my honest opinion, I could be wrong because transfers are crazy, man. But I see Sancho leaving this summer. I don't see Haaland or Bellingham leaving this summer. I see Haaland maybe leaving next summer. And I see Bellingham being here for 2-3 years. And then he'll probably get some bigger looks. But there's not a chance 2 or 3 of them leave this summer. That's just my opinion. Do you think Terzic will be the Spurs' next manager? I think Gattuso will be. And then Fonseca will take over Fiorentina. I have a soft spot for Wolfsburg. Nice. Werder Bremen knocked us out of the cup 2 seasons running. Yeah, I like the history of Werder Bremen. I did not like the fact that they kept ruining our cups. They were very annoying, man. Maybe he was your first guest. I loved Werder Bremen as well as they had pizza. Diego. Yeah, Ozil. I forgot Ozil was there. He was fantastic at Bremen before he got that big move. I have a soft spot for Gladbach. I like it. Josh, you said the same thing about Dahoud. You've been around a while, my man. I like it. I like it. Yeah, and that's the beautiful thing about football. I was on here on the channel. Dahoud has been one of my favorite players to watch this summer, or this season, by far. I mean, I obviously love watching Royce and Haaland, Sancho, but from a technically gifted aspect type of way, playing as the heart of your midfield, seeing the way that the team has changed because of the introduction of Dahoud, I just fell in love with watching him as a player. But I, at one point, looked you guys square in the eye and said that Dahoud has no future here. He will be sold. He just won't be given a chance because I didn't think that he would. And then he did. He was sensational. And yeah, I don't know, man. Crazy. It's crazy. So you never know. Brandt under a new manager is the only chance I think of him saving his Dortmund career. But if it doesn't work out under Rosa, he probably should move on for his own good. I respect you, man. You've been streaming for like an hour now. Good hard work. Respect. You guys put me in a position where I can do this. So I appreciate all the support. Hope you guys enjoy these type of streams. You guys have a lot of good questions, and hopefully I'll be able to introduce some of you guys on the channel. Gattuso literally rejected Spurs. Well, there you go. Never mind. I don't blame him. Why would you want to go to the Spurs? I wish Bundesliga had a fantasy app. It would be a good Premier League apps. Someone told me that there's some type of, like for the next season, and put it in the chat, guys, if you have more of an insight. But a lot of you guys this season were saying, Josh, do a fantasy league or a fantasy something with the Bundesliga. So I think we're going to probably start that for this coming season. So if you have an idea of where you want me to start it or what kind of JJD TV league you want me to start for it, I'm not sure, man. But I'm willing to do it because you guys were really interested in it. Fans from other clubs say that we're selling clubs, but to be honest, we're a traditional club and our owners are not billionaires. That is true, and like I said, over the last few seasons, we've done nothing to indicate that we are a selling club. I have a feeling that Sancho will be a flop. I hope not. I know it sucks to see him leave, and it sucks to see him probably go to United, but I do have a lot of love for Jadon Sancho. He's given me a lot of good memories. I think he's a good person in general, so I do want to see him move on and have success and not flop. But I like Leipzig, 3 Hungarian players. Not a lot of people like Leipzig. You must not be from Germany, my man, but Leipzig is an appealing club to watch. They have some good football. I remember seeing clips of Haaland destroying our defense when I was like 10 in 2015. There you are. There you are, my friend. Those are I haven't seen those clips, but Favre or Rosa? I think Rosa was the correct decision at the time. They went out, they found the man that they wanted. And I have a good feeling that Marco Rosa will have a new breath of fresh air and will be able to really go for it this year, man. I'm saying that Terry's got a lot of potential to prove still. But he's going to have to take a second seat to Marco Rosa this year. If BVB was owned by billionaires, we'd be untouchable and would crush Bayern. Yeah, we wish. Not seen the whole stream. Closest to BVB wrote that Ikone is not on our radar. Brandt thrives in a central role and is wasting his time on the wings. We already have Royce and Reina for the attacking midfielder. All right, so touching on that, yes, I heard the Ikone links went away as quickly as they started. It looks like the Sancho replacement will be Malen. Just quickly, easy as that. In terms of Brandt, I've said it as long as I can remember. He looks like a ghost out there when he plays on the wings. Absolutely dreadful out there on the wings. He also gets thrown up sometimes as a false 9, which he's just as bad at doing. He needs to play as a center attacking mid or as an 8 in like a 4-2-3-1. So unfortunately, I don't see Brandt breaking in over Royce or Reina, which is why I said I think Brandt should move on. But it does look like he's going to be given a shot under Marco Rosa, and we'll see how he takes it. Locatelli, in my opinion, is one of the best defensive midfields out there. I like him very much, but the focus should be on other positions. Malen, right back, fourth, center back. Yep, I agree. So Luka, Locatelli will not come to Dortmund. The price tag alone, and like you said, we don't need him. We have options as defensive midfielders. Malen, I see coming. I see no right backs coming. Meunier will probably be our guy next season. There's justification now with the fact that he's doing well in the Euros. I do think that we will sign another backup center back. And the other transfer I could see is shifting Schultz out because he's allowed to leave, and then buying a young, talented, natural left back with a little bit more defensive discipline than Guerrero. I also believe that Sancho is leaving, and the only way Haaland would leave if BVB gets 175 plus 5 million on add-ons, and they would go explain themselves. Angie, I agree, but I agree that Sancho will be leaving. I agree that Dortmund may think about a massive bid, but without the release clause, I can't even really touch on that because I don't know the facts. I don't see a way that they are going to let Haaland leave. They can't, and if they do, there goes our title push. Even with Sancho leaving, I think that we have a chance for a title push. If Haaland leaves, I don't. What's Zagadou doing in the team, in your opinion? He's better off loaned out and play consistently. There's no chance for him above Hummels and Akanji. I agree. Again, I'm not completely sold on Zagadou. I've said it for a while. I think he needs to be healthy and he needs to have minutes. And the fact that he's not healthy, and the fact that even if he was getting in under Hummels, Akanji, and then whoever our new center back may be, it's going to keep pushing Zagadou down the line. I don't know what the right answer for him is, but there's a lot of question marks around him going up the next season. I hate Leipzig, City, and PSG. It's fair. I like how Rosa didn't pull Owen Coyle and change the teams mid-season. Yeah, I hate Owen Coyle for leaving. Okay. All right. I don't know the exact situation you're talking about. I'm assuming, and I don't want to sound like an idiot, that's an Indian Super League type question, which I'm just not familiar with. Let me know, man, if I'm correct about it. But we'll see. I know this is a Dortmund stream, but Canada looks set to bring their A team. All right, I need to get off this stream, and maybe I need to do a Canada stream, my man. But that is very, very cool. I'm very excited for that, and I still haven't looked at the Gold Cup squad yet. If Sancho flops, I don't really care as long as he doesn't shoot it. Well, there you go. Remember Weigl? He was supposed to be the next big thing. He's valued at 65 million and linked to City at some point, and now he's in the Portuguese league. It's a shame. Julian Weigl was an unbelievable defensive midfielder. It is a shame that it didn't really go his way, man. I think Mullen, Gutson were linked. St. Juice, Kobel, good transfers, assuming that Sancho leaves. I agree, man. All four. If there was, like I said, normally I think there will be three. I said Kobel, St. Juice, Mullen, and if we shift Schultz, absolutely. Those are the four players, 100%. Well said, my man. I agree with you 100%. I think Akanji's a world class and can learn a lot from Hummels. Yeah, I think a lot of people FIFA wrote off Akanji. They dropped him to a 78 rating, just a slap in the face. But yeah, I think Akanji is awesome. That's why I said it. I think he's got the potential to be a future captain for Dortmund, assuming the fact that it's a couple years down the road and Hummels, Royce, and Witzel all move on. Dortmund's current team looks nothing like their 2017-18. By the way, you were correct about my previous comment relating to the Indian Super League. Nailed it. I assumed. I'm sorry. I don't have a lot. The only thing I really know is my boy Ian Hume, former Canada winger striker, played in the Indian Super League and had a little bit of success. And Alano as well. I think Alano played and captained one of those two teams that you were talking about. And then my information from there kind of disappears. But I want Haaland to stay too. But the stock crop we have, yeah, man. Angie, you make good points. I don't know. I have a feeling he's going to stay, and I really don't think we'd have a chance in the Bundesliga if he left. And I think next season that we do. Even without Sancho, I think we have a chance. If Anuna is really available for 7 million and his ban is reduced in November, I think he's worth the money. Kobel being a stand until November. Ryan, I get your point of view, my man. I don't think it's going to happen, though. I think Kobel's our guy. We signed him on a long-term deal. In my opinion, there's no way, even if Onana is available in November, and even if he's only available for as little as 7 million, I just don't see a way that we do it. We've made our decision. Kobel is the future between the sticks for Dortmund. It's as easy as that. Some team out there will get a steal, though, if Onana can play soon. But unfortunately for us, Dortmund wanted Onana, and they wanted Depay too. I mean, and those deals were close. Onana's a very good ball-moving keeper, which is something we were looking for, but the ban ruined it, and I don't think it'll come back. But this will be our last question of the day, my friends. I need to wrap this thing up and go check out Canada's Gold Cup squad. I'm excited to take a look at it. Also have a meeting at 12, but who do you think could be the next Dortmund legend once Royce leaves? I'm thinking Rafa or a Kanji maybe. In terms of loyalty, I'm assuming you're referring to. And yeah. In terms of loyalty, and I gotta pick a player who I think is gonna spend probably the rest of their career here. I think Guerrero has the opportunity. This is the first test. If Madrid's seriously looking at him and Guerrero stays, I think Guerrero could be one that spends his entire career here with us. But it's gonna be completely dependent on what happens with these Madrid links. But yeah, I don't know, guys. We're gonna call it quits for there today, though. I appreciate everyone who was here in the stream. A lot of fun to chat with you guys. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe on your guys' way out. We'll have a lot more transfer streams coming up. We'll find a way to hopefully introduce some of you guys in the streams down the line. But I appreciate spending time today. We are going to do a watch along on the England game. We're going to try to hopefully keep an eye on Bellingham and Sancho if they play. So hopefully that will go well and something that you guys may be interested in. We'll see. There's a Canada news coming out, but I do plan on doing the England stream, hopefully seeing Sancho. And if Sancho isn't starting, then I'm just going to be straight up angry. But thank you guys for tuning in with me today.